Hey guys, this is Nico. Have you ever wondered how a complex language like Japanese, with even more than 3,000 symbols, can be typed on a regular keyboard? Well, stay tuned to find out the incredible story behind it, how the Japanese approach is genius, and how this has already changed for us in the Western world the way we interact with technology. Before we delve into the fascinating world of typing Japanese on a keyboard, it is important to grasp a little bit about how the Japanese writing system works. I actually made an entire video about it, so make sure to check it out. As explained in my previous video, the Japanese writing system is quite complex. To keep things simple and move forward in the video, here's a quick recap. There are three writing systems composed of kanjis that originated from China and compose the radical of most of the Japanese words. Kanas that are two-syllable based systems composed of 40 characters and that are used for several purposes. You have hiraganas, which is one of the kana system that is used for all the grammar elements and particles. You have katakanas, which is the second kana system that is used for most of the modern Japanese as it derives from English or other foreign loanwords. Just to give you an idea, both of the kana system consist of around 40 symbols each, and there are more than 2,000 kanji used. Needless to say, this wouldn't fit on a standard QWERTY keyboard. Let's now take a trip back in the 70s. Japan is in the midst of its industrial revolution, with many sectors booming. As the IT sector develops, a significant problem arises: how to use a regular keyboard to write and type Japanese and continue competing globally. This was a significant challenge for Japan, coming after the mid-1800s, when the country for the first time opened up to the world, entering its Meiji era and becoming the modern Japan we currently know. If you want to learn more about this historical period, please refer to this video I already made. Many Asian languages encountered challenges in adapting to the Western world, particularly as those countries transitioned in the modern era, opened up to the world, and grappled with the forces of globalization. Take China, for instance, who introduced pinyin, a Latin alphabet-based system in order to reproduce Mandarin. At one point, there was even contemplation in abandoning the millennia-old Chinese characters in favor of pinyin. Throwback to the 1600s, an era when Japan unexpectedly began to open up to foreign influences. It is important to remember that throughout its history, Japan has been closed to the rest of the world. However, as the international dynamic shifted, notably as Dutch and Portuguese dominated the sea commerce, Japan started welcoming very few foreigners. At that time, Japan was characterized as a feudal society, with numerous small kingdoms vying for control. This newfound engagement with international commerce had strategic implications, mainly serving as a means for local warlords to gain a technological advantage on others. In this context, with international commerce, Portuguese Christian missionaries entered the scene. Their primary objective was unmistakably clear: to propagate Christianity throughout Japan, leveraging the influence gained through access to international trade. But wait a minute, what does international commerce and Christian missionaries in the 1600s in Japan have to do with the way Japanese currently write on a keyboard? Well, this is where this insane story starts making sense. It turns out that Christian missionaries, before being banned from Japan as their real motivation was discovered, were among the first ones to use the Latin alphabet in order to learn and record the Japanese language. This was the early stage of what will then be called the Romanjis. A couple of centuries later, in 1853, Japan embarked for its Meiji period, which is more commonly referred as the modern Japan era. During this transformative time, Japan opened up to the world and the concept of Romanji arose again. This allowed for the Japanese language to be represented using the Western or Latin alphabet. This development, compatible with the Latin alphabet, marked a significant turning point in Japan's communication and a pivotal role in the way Japanese will, in the future, interact with keyboards. The Romanji system emerged as Japan was transitioning into the modern era and was getting ready to embrace the digital world. As Japan aimed to compete globally and thrive in the digital field alongside companies like Sony, the utilization of computers became essential. This is where the Romanjis became relevant. A keyboard using the Romanji system not only allowed people to type in English or with another Western language, but as well input Japanese using this Romanji system. During that time, with the rise of computers, many input methods began to surface. While some of them were particular, a combination of Romanji and hiraganas soon became the standard. This evolution led to the contemporary Japanese keyboard layout we have today, which may appear unremarkable at first glance, resembling in a typical QWERTY keyboard. However, upon closer inspection, one can identify Japanese hiragana symbols integrated alongside on each keys the Latin alphabet. With such a keyboard, individual can use the Romanji system to reproduce the Japanese sounds using the Latin alphabet or directly use the hiraganas in order to directly input Japanese. This keyboard layout enables users to seamlessly switch between writing in Japanese using the Romanji or hiragana systems, but also write in any other Latin-based languages, making this keyboard a very versatile tool for communication. Modern smartphone digital keyboard follow a similar logic, though the hiragana layout may differ. It employs a principle reminiscent of early mobile phones before the smartphones, requiring the user to press the keys several times or longer to get the desired character. However, the Romanjis and all of this is only one aspect of the equation. How do Japanese individuals manage to write approximately 3,000 characters only using the hiragana or Romanji system? And the answer to this intriguing question will be explored in the concluding segment of this video. This is where prediction technologies comes into play. Very early on, for languages like Japanese and Chinese that share a significant number of characters and symbols, there was a need to predict what people were going to type just using the pronunciation. It was important to develop a technology able to identify linguistic patterns in order to predict the typing based on the pronunciation only. Here is an example of how this system works when writing Japanese. As you can see, while typing, the prediction system quickly kicks in order to guess what I intend to write. We only recently got prediction onto our digital keyboards, but Japanese had it for a very long time. This is explained by the fact that it is difficult to use a traditional keyboard in order to input a language with many characters and symbols. Yet Japan found a way to innovate in order to get this very versatile keyboard layout. Hey guys, that wraps up the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that this was as exciting for you as it was for me to craft it. If you appreciated the video, don't forget to like it and to drop a comment in the section down below. You can ask me your questions and share with me interesting experience you had using foreign keyboards. In order to support this channel and this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon in order to be the first one to get notified and see my upcoming videos. In the meantime, I'm out of here, everybody. See you soon. Bye bye. Matane.